Hi everyone, this is Teacher Christine, and welcome back to our sessions for English Interview for Stewardesses. For today, we'll be talking about some possible passenger interactions, baby service or dealing with children on board, and also interactions with foreign passengers. Let's start. So for our passenger interaction, the question is, if a passenger asks you on a date, what would you do? Of course, there might be some passengers that might naturally be attracted to you, so they would try to see if they can go out with you. Well, since it's against company rules or against the policy for most companies, one answer would be if a passenger asks me on a date, I would thank them and then explain to the passenger that I was flattered, but it was against our policy to date passengers from our flights. Another answer would be I would thank the passenger for his interest, but remind him that it is not allowed and I do not want to break company rules. Of course, we should take note that no matter how interesting the passenger is, if you are interested or not interested, you must always be polite in declining the passenger. And of course, we don't want to break the company rules because it would cause a bad record against you and might also cause you to be terminated or fired from the company. Now, I'd like you to visualize yourself in the same or similar situation and then ask yourself for the next few seconds how you would react to it. Very well. Let's move on to the next question. So, we are tackling baby service or childcare. So, sometimes some parents cannot leave their children at home, so they have to take it with them on flight. And babies, they don't know how to talk yet, so they can't really tell you what they feel wrong. So, sometimes they would keep crying on flight. So the next question is, if a baby keeps crying, what would you do? One possible answer is, I would go talk to the parent and see what the problem is. If the baby is hungry, I can get it some milk. If it is sick, I would try to comfort it while it is on my flight. It is my job to help the parent make the flight as comfortable as possible for the child. So what if the baby is not hungry since it's already eaten and it's not really sick? It's just really not feeling well because of the flight. Another answer that I've written down is just I would inquire from the parent to see if the baby needs anything else or if I could get them anything else that the parent does not currently have at hand, so that I could help in making the baby stop crying. So sometimes just little toys might abuse the kid or the baby, and that actually does help at times. So what if it's not a baby anymore, but a small child, and then the parent or guardian just allows the child to run around in the cabin? So if a child was running in the cabin, what would you do? One possible answer is I would first talk to the child and tell them to please take their seats. If they do not listen, I would inform the parents that the child cannot continue to run throughout the cabin as it is disturbing the other passengers. And running in the aircraft is really dangerous to passengers because of turbulence. They will have to stay in their seats until the flight has landed. Now, sometimes some parents or guardians don't like their children to be told what to do by strangers. And sometimes children are also told not to talk to strangers or listen to them. So one possible answer is just I would first talk to the child and just ask them to lead me to their parent or guardian on the flight. Then I would politely ask the parent or guardian to have the child stay in their seats just to avoid any accidents or complaints from other passengers on the flight as well. Now for the next few seconds, go ahead and tell me what would you do if you were in the same situation. Okay, very good. So now we know that some children might disturb other passengers. So the next question is, what would you tell a mother whose child is disturbing other passengers? Sometimes when a child is bored, they try to play with other passengers. But of course, sometimes the other passengers do not want to play with them. So one possible answer is I would first explain to the mother that during a flight, passengers have to be respectful of others and that she would have to keep her children quiet. I would then try to offer a coloring book or crayons to the child to keep them occupied. But if the coloring book or crayons do not work for these children, then one other thing I could do is I would ask the mother if there's anything else I could do to help keep her children calm and help them behave. I can also offer other things like snacks or drinks, which would amuse the children for a little bit. Now, what would you do in the same situation? Okay, very good. Now, as for foreign passenger interaction, I'd like to set this as sort of a homework. I'd like you to think of things that might occur if you have a foreign passenger on board. So I'll leave you with this homework, and I'll see you next time for our next session. Good luck with your interview. Have a good day.